You ever feel like your brain just doesn't work the way everyone else's does? Like people around you seem fine, focused, calm, moving forward, and meanwhile your mind is running 47 tabs, arguing with itself, replaying things from 3 years ago. Here's the uncomfortable part. If your brain does certain things, you're not normal. And the strangest part is, that might not be a bad thing. You wake up, grab your phone, and somehow 5 minutes turns into 45. You sit down to work, and suddenly you need a snack, then coffee, then you're reorganizing your desk for no reason. You overthink texts, you replay conversations, you imagine scenarios that haven't even happened. And sometimes you feel exhausted without actually doing anything. But you brush it off, because everyone says this is normal now, right? Except, what if it's not? Here's what most people don't realize. Your brain isn't just distracted or lazy. It's running a completely different pattern. A pattern that makes you think deeper, feel stronger, notice more, but also overanalyze, overreact, and burn out faster. In other words, if your brain does these things, it's not broken. It's just wired differently. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. 1. You overthink simple things. You send a text and then reread it 6 times. Was that too much? Did that sound weird? Should I have added an emoji? Meanwhile, the other person read it once and moved on. Here's what's happening. Your brain is trying to simulate outcomes. It's running mini what-if scenarios to avoid rejection or embarrassment. That's actually a survival mechanism. But here's the twist. Your brain isn't protecting you from reality. It's protecting you from possibilities that don't even exist. And that's why you feel drained over things that never happened. 2. You get bored extremely fast. You start something new, gym, project, hobby, and at first, it feels amazing. Then suddenly, it doesn't. You lose interest. You want something new. This isn't just lack of discipline. Your brain is heavily driven by dopamine, the reward chemical. When something is new, dopamine spikes. But once it becomes predictable, drop fast. And here's the part most people don't notice. It's not that you hate the thing. It's that your brain hates predictability. So you keep chasing new instead of building depth. 3. Your mind never fully shuts off. You're lying in bed, lights off, phone down, and your brain goes, remember that embarrassing thing from 2017? Or, what if everything goes wrong tomorrow? Or even worse, random thoughts, non-stop. This happens because your brain has a high baseline activity level. It's always scanning, processing, connecting, which sounds cool until you realize you don't get breaks. The twist? Your brain treats silence as a threat, so it fills the space with noise. 4. You imagine scenarios constantly. You walk into a meeting and instantly picture how it could go wrong. You meet someone new, and your brain is already predicting the future of the interaction. You even imagine conversations that haven't happened yet. This is called mental simulation. And yes, it can make you more prepared. But here's where it gets weird. Your brain doesn't fully separate imagination from reality. So every fake scenario still creates real stress, real emotion, real fatigue. You're basically living multiple versions of life at once and paying the emotional price for all of them. 5. You struggle to stay consistent. You're not lazy, because when you are motivated, you go all in. You'll work for hours, obsess over details, push harder than most people. But then, nothing. Zero energy. You disappear from your own goals. Here's why. Your brain works in spikes, not steady flow. Most people operate like a straight line. You operate like waves, high highs, low lows. The twist? Consistency feels unnatural to you because your brain is built for intensity, not repetition. But here's where it gets weird. Everything we just talked about? Overthinking, overstimulation, mental chaos. These are the same traits found in highly creative, highly intelligent, and highly self-aware people. Yeah, The exact things that make you feel off are also the things that make your mind powerful. 6. You notice things others don't. You pick up on tone shifts, body language, subtle changes in energy. You can tell when something feels off, even if no one says anything. This happens because your brain processes more data than average. It's hyper-aware. But here's the downside. You don't just notice more, you feel more, which means small things hit you harder, and sometimes you wish you could just turn it off. 7. You question everything. You don't blindly accept things. You analyze, you challenge, you rethink your own thoughts. This can make you feel disconnected, like you're not fully in the moment. But here's the twist most people miss. While others are living on autopilot, you're actually aware of the system. And awareness is uncomfortable, but powerful. So now think about this. Most people move through life on default settings, predictable thoughts, predictable reactions, predictable patterns. But if your brain does what we just talked about, you're not operating on default. You're running a completely different system. More chaotic? Yes. More exhausting? Sometimes. But also more aware, more adaptive, more capable of breaking out of patterns. And that is what separates normal minds from different ones. So if your brain does this, if it overthinks, overanalyzes, jumps between extremes, you're not normal. But that doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you're wired in a way most people aren't. And the real problem is not understanding your own wiring. Because once you do, everything changes. You stop fighting your brain and start working with it. And the strangest part, the thing you thought was holding you back might actually be the thing that sets you apart. So yeah, you're not normal, but maybe you were never supposed to be.